Hey, it's me, Holly Madison. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm continuing this series where I react to Girls Next Door Season 1. This is episode 14, I believe. 15. It's called It's Vegas, Baby. We go back to Vegas. And I just started it before I started rolling. And this starts out with a car wash scene. There's something in the car wash scene that's problematic. If any of you guys are like watching along or watching beforehand, let me know if you see anything off about the scene. The problematic thing is very problematic, but I swear like I'm not here with the intention of like throwing anybody under the bus. Like I've just been watching these, I've just been reacting, and then this comes up and I'm like, ooh, but I don't endorse the scene. Okay, so we're starting out with a scene with something very problematic in it. Like I said, I don't endorse it. I don't know why anybody filming thought that was okay for it to even be in the scene, except the only thing I can think of is reality TV, as I've mentioned before in some of these videos, especially back in the 2000s, is almost like a humiliation ritual. It's almost like, let's record people acting like idiots, edit it so they look like even more idiotic, and then people at home can laugh and feel superior. So maybe it was one of those things where the crew was like, we're just gonna let them do what they're gonna do, and it's their own mess. But I feel like it's just not cool. And it's not something, and it's something that was, it's not cool now, and it wasn't cool then. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you're asking me like why I didn't speak up at the time, I'm not in the scene. I'm not anywhere near it. It's one person's scene. I had no say on anything. So there you go. And also, you know what else is weird is no one seemed to notice it or care at the time, even like with viewership. It's just weird. So here we are arriving in Vegas, and we're seeing it's fun to see the strip because I live in Vegas now, and it's showing like Planet Hollywood when it used to be the Aladdin and stuff like that. It's crazy how things have already changed. And we're arriving at the Palms, which was our home base in Vegas because they had a deal with Playboy. And I think this was the first time we were staying in the Hugh Hefner suite, which was a really big multi-story high roller suite, which at one point was like the most expensive suite in Vegas. Now it's the Damien Hirst suite. They had like an artist take it over. It's really cool. The property just got sold, so I don't know if they're going to keep it but there you go. I'm also talking about how I'm going to be in a fashion show for the new, at the time, Roberto Cavalli bunny costumes. And I remember this was my favorite part of the whole season because it was the first time on the show that I had a plot line, because throughout this season, and part of this is on me because I was really like nervous about doing the show. I didn't really want to take part as much. I was really, scared of everything. So I wasn't like volunteering and contributing as much, but at the same time, it was like, they would do like birthday episodes for Bridget and Kendra, and like Bridget's hometown and Bridget's this and Kendra's that and da-da-da. And this was like the first time I had any kind of a plot line. Like, not that the episode was even really like about me, but it was the first time I got to do something where I felt special. And it was the first time I got to do something by myself that had anything to do with Playboy. And when I say by myself, it's not because like I didn't ever like doing things with Bridget and Kendra, and it's nothing against them. But everybody like wants to feel special sometimes, especially when their whole world is just cornered into this little bubble, and they're always paired up with two other people, and they're made to feel like they're not good enough and they're not pretty enough, and you're only good if you're like 1/3 a part of this group, and you only have value that way. So the fact that I got to do this fashion show by myself made me feel really super special, and it was probably my favorite thing I got to do all season. Oh, we're about to take a picture with a big sign in front of the Palms, and of course we're doing this pose. Like I talked about that a couple episodes before, how we're like always posing like this, like Vanna White style, and it cringes me now. It's one of those things, like we all look back on ourselves and see things we used to do like 5, 10, 15 years ago, and we're like, ah, and that's one of my cringies, is like, I can't. You know what else is cringy? The word cringies. I've never said that before. I just made that up. I don't like it. That's one of my cringes, one of my icks. Our friend Crystal Camden was there, and she was part of the girlfriend group at one point, And it bothered me how when people like her or Stacey Burke were on the show, when they would do their name on the lower third of the screen, it would say their name. And the way they would identify them was Hef's former girlfriend. And I always thought that was so, even back then, this isn't even a hindsight thing, but even back then it bothered me. And I felt like it was kind of dehumanizing. And like, why isn't it enough that Crystal and Stacey were genuinely our friends at that point? Like, it's like, I get it if it's like Barbie Benton or somebody that we didn't know from like decades before us coming back and you're like Hef's former girlfriend, because that's how she relates on the show. But like, and that's why she was brought on the episode. But like with Crystal and Stacey, like we would just hang out with them as friends, and like it's just not enough that they were friends. Like it has to be like Hef's former girlfriend. It just kind of grossed me out because it seemed kind of douchey, like just a way to remind everybody like how many people Hef's been with, and just kind of making it look like because they were with him at one point, like that's all they are as women and that's who they are. And even back then it bugged me. It's showing us touring the Hugh Hefner suite, and it was a really cool suite. But I remember it wasn't like our favorite place to stay. It was very cold. It's like this 2-story suite, and it's like marble everywhere. And it's just not, there's nothing cozy about it. There's nothing comfortable or cozy at all. It's just not even a place you'd feel comfortable like when you're like drunk or hungover, which is like, you need that in Vegas. Okay, so we're not staying in the Hugh Hefner suite. We're staying in the same suite that we stayed in episode 4 when the girls and I came out for Carmela's birthday. Maybe the suite wasn't finished yet. Maybe we just toured it and didn't, I don't know. There's a scene where we're all changing. I think some people are drunk here, no judgment, but I think some people are already drunk. Okay, so we're going to 9 Steakhouse, which isn't there anymore. It's called Scotch 80 now. But 9 was like the restaurant in Vegas for LA people to go to. Like all the like cool people from LA, anytime they came to Vegas, they would always go to 9 Steakhouse back in the day. And they had like amazing steaks and skinny fries. I can taste it now. Wait, they have Kendra like trying some kind of food. I missed what it was. I'll have to back up. But like the producer of the show like always thought it was so funny to have like Kendra try foods. And it was just like, just an example of like his sense of humor and just, I don't know. I thought it was annoying. Not annoying on her part. Like I'm not bagging on her, like, you know, whatever, but it was just annoying that that was like a gag he like always wanted to replay. Not that we all didn't have gags he liked to replay. Like I was asked to say the same thing in interviews so many times, it would just get annoying. But that was always like a gag he wanted, was like, let's have Kendra try food to like show how unsophisticated her palate is. Let's have her try food and get grossed out. It's just like, it's not 1960 anymore. Oh, I backed it up a little bit. She's trying caviar, like, so funny, just the height of TV humor. And just to be clear, I'm not bagging on her with this. It's just like, it's annoying me with the producer. Like he had like a fetish for those type of scenes. And I just, like, it's funny once, but like you'll see it again when we go to Europe. And it's just like this thing that kept repeating. It was just annoying. You know what? I think they made Bridget do it in her Beaches show too, because it was the same production company. Like I remember the episode I watched where she went to Australia, like they built up her trying Vegemite. It was like the through line of the episode. It's just so weird to me how like he had a fetish for those kind of scenes. And I'm not sure anybody's I feel like it's a very outdated type of humor, even back then. Okay, so if you watched my last review, I'm talking about how Hef and the producer of the show had a really weird attitude when it came to like girls being dumb. Like if there was a girl in the group who was, you know, saying something that wasn't the smartest, it was like hyped up in a way if it was like the group of girls, because it was, in a way, it was like used to make everybody else feel bad. Like, oh, this person's really young and saying all these things that are so funny. Like behind her back, they would talk negatively about it, or they would make a scene in a show. Like the last episode I reviewed, the Chicago episode, to like make fun of it. And then there's a scene where she leans over the table. She's like, I have a good idea. And Hef looks at the camera and he goes, here it comes, a good idea. Like sarcastic, like he thinks it's going to be something really dumb. And it's just annoying because it's rude. And not only is it annoying because it's rude to her, but it's annoying because he would like play both sides with it. It's like, let's make fun of that, but let's also prop it up when it's just me, Holly, Bridget, and Kendra alone in a room. So Bridget and Holly feel bad. You know what I mean? And I know you're probably sitting at home thinking, well, why would you feel bad if he's propping up that kind of behavior? But you have to understand, had been in this weird bubble for so long that we kind of felt, I don't know if trapped is the right word, but like we weren't quite equipped to leave. And, you know, it was just like a weird dynamic. And then to see the kind of behavior that gets rewarded, which is so like antithetical to what you're trying to be. It's just, it was a thing. Oh my God. So this scene where we are going on the casino floor. And just so you know, if you're not from Vegas, when I say casino floor, that just means the area where like all the gaming is set up. Like, I think when I say that and people aren't from Vegas, they think I mean the literal floor, like the carpet. But when you say casino floor, that just means like the area where all the games are. So we're going to the casino floor. And I remember, because Kendra was only 20 in this scene, and they have us all like sitting at a blackjack table. And the Palms got in trouble. Like they got fined for that because you're not supposed to be at the gaming tables if you're not 21. Fun behind the scenes fact. I say I don't gamble and I don't plan on doing it. Not because I think there's anything wrong with it at all, but I'm just like really cheap with my money and I'm really into like investing and stuff. So just, I don't know. I'm too cheap. Sorry. I'll gamble on crypto. And then it shows us going to the hardwood suite, which is like a suite that has a basketball court in it. And I remember I was having so much fun doing free throws and I was really drunk and just not making any of the shots, but I was still having so much fun. Oh my God, Hef was being so rude. Like I was having so much fun doing the free throws and he goes, move over and use the backboard. I'm like, I don't want to, like I'm having fun. Like I didn't even care about making the shots. I was just having fun, like standing where I was. And he goes, okay, well then you should sit down then. Like, the problem with him is he always hated it when I was actually having fun. Like the rare times where I was genuinely having fun or lit up, he got so cranky. So now they're showing me like just sitting on the bed, drinking, miserable, while everybody else is still playing basketball. It was like anytime I was having fun, like he had to ruin it. And I can just see on my face, like I look like I'm kind of ready to cry and like over it. And it's just like, so I just like drank myself into oblivion and then went to bed early. And of course, like Bridget and Kendra get to stay up and have fun, but I just had to be miserable, you know? Oh my God, the footage they're showing, like the B-roll of Vegas, you can see the boardwalk. That is like an old school casino. That's where City Center is now. So that was there like before I even moved there. You can see like this big clown head. It's super crazy. This is like vintage footage. Okay, this is yet another episode, like every one of our travel episodes where everything is cut out of order. So earlier you saw me arrive and I'm wearing this dumb outfit that's like a button-up white shirt with like a corset over it. And then it shows us like going to dinner and in a different dress and going to, you know, the party at the hardwood suite and going to bed. And then the next day it cuts back to me in the same outfit. And I wasn't re-wearing the same outfit. It's just like they're cutting it to where it doesn't match. So we're going to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in Vegas right now to see Hef's wax figure. I currently have 2 exes in that wax museum, so it's not a place I'm interested in going. Oh, I forgot this scene where Bridget marries the George Clooney wax figure. I feel like the Hef wax figure like isn't very flattering. I also feel like the wax figure has a bad haircut. So it shows us going to the Playboy store in the Caesars Forum shops. And it's just crazy to me, like what a different time it was back then that Playboy had its own store in the Caesars mall. It's crazy. There's like a lot of Girls Next Door merch, a lot of Playboy clothes, things like that. I used to have these giant leather rhinestone jackets, these Playboy rhinestone jackets that I was given. And they were really expensive and I don't know where they are. Like I feel like I saved all my wardrobe from this show. Not the super casual stuff that would have like deteriorated, but all my like dresses and things like that. But I have no idea where the leather jackets are. It's so weird. I remember back before I moved to Vegas, anytime I would come here for vacation, I would get so dry, like my skin would get so dry and my eyes and everything. And it was so drastic. And now that I live here and go back and forth, like I don't feel that, but it used to be crazy. And now we're going to the Voodoo Lounge, which was a restaurant on top of the Rio. I don't know if it's still there, but it was one of the first restaurants that I knew of anyway that would serve like the big goblet drinks with like the dry ice with all the steam coming out of it. Like that used to be a novelty back in the day. So that was a fun restaurant. And it had like a really cool view of the whole city because it was on top of the tower. Hef points at the Luxor when we're looking at the view and he goes, "Oh, do you see that pyramid?" And Kendra goes, "That's where my mom's staying." She was there? Oh, maybe she means that's where my mom's staying, like she's coming in a few weeks or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's showing like Roberto Cavalli at our table. I like when Roberto Cavalli gets the bunny necklace and he's like, "I'm the beautiful bunny man now." So it shows Kendra talking about Olive Garden, and I remember Olive Garden like threw a fit and made some public statement how they didn't want her talking about Olive Garden or something. And we would get flack like that sometimes. Like on the show, we mentioned slip and slides and hula hoops a few times. And the company that makes slip and slides and hula hoops called Whammo sent a cease and desist to the production company, and they wanted us to stop saying their names, even though we totally can. It's free speech, it's fair use. But because it was like a Playboy show and it was too sexy, God forbid we say hula hoop or slip and slide. So we're back at the Palms in this nightclub they had called Rain, which was this giant nightclub. And we're doing the fashion show with the Roberto Cavalli bunny costumes. I think there were 4 of us. It was me, a playmate named Kara, a playmate named Irina, and Tiffany Fallon, the Playmate of the Year. And I just felt really honored and really special to be picked to be one of the people wearing the bunny costume in the show. And the crazy thing to me about this episode is I remember when I saw the episode, I thought I looked so fat and I was like, oh my God, I have to go on a diet. Like this is unacceptable. Like I need to lose 5 pounds. And I look at it now and I was really skinny. So this is always what I think of when I think of my body dysmorphia. I think of this day because it's an extreme example. Like if you watch this and think, oh, she's watching herself and thinking she's fat, it's just kind of crazy. I remember watching this and feeling scared. Like I was getting out of control of my own body. Like my thighs were so big. This is unacceptable. What am I gonna do? The most nerve-wracking thing about wearing that costume to me is the Cavalli costumes were just really low cut. So it was like, I don't remember if I used any tape or anything, but like the possibility of a nip slip was like imminent at any second. So I had to be careful in that one. Okay, so it's showing me in the fashion show and we're doing a wrap up voiceover again. If you've watched these reactions and you watched the reaction I did on episode 8, which was the Midsummer Night's Dream episode, they end that episode that way as well, because originally E only ordered 8 episodes from us. We had no idea that the show was going to be a hit or that there was going to be more. So they finished out episode 8 as if that was the end of a season. Like they had us do voiceovers, like talking about like what that time meant to us and what we're doing going forward. So now we're doing it again because this is the end of season 1 and we don't know if we're getting a season 2. So let's see what I say. My statement is so generic. It's just like, we're so in love and I love Hef and the girls and I love the direction our life has taken because I don't know. Like I hadn't really opened up as to what any of my goals or dreams were in the show. And in some cases, they didn't even allow it to be shown. Like it was never mentioned that I was in real estate school. And I just felt like that's kind of the only thing I could say. Like I just wanted to like wrap up and be positive and boring. And what Bridget said in episode 8 was, oh, my dream came true being in Playboy, so now it's time to find a new dream. And she kind of says the same thing here, like so many of my dreams have come true and now more doors are opening. So it's kind of like the same. And Kendra's statement is pretty generic too. All of our statements were pretty generic this time. I feel like they were more specific last time, back when we did episode 8. And I can tell by the way we're answering the questions that what they asked us in the interview was, how has being part of Playboy changed your life? Or what does being part of the Playboy world mean to you? And I think we just all kind of gave generic, safe answers. Okay, so there we go. That was season 1. I can't believe I did a whole season because when I started this, I was like, this is traumatic. I don't know if I can get past 2 episodes, but I actually kind of like enjoyed this process. And my takeaways from this episode are, my favorite thing, I think, was the fashion show, and just I felt really special being a part of it. And now I can look at it and really like love the way I looked in it and just appreciate myself. Whereas back then I had like massive body dysmorphia. My least favorite thing about the episode was sometimes when I watch these, I'm reminded of certain behaviors that I forgot about and weren't really pleasant. And just seeing the scene where we were playing basketball and Hef was being really rude to me and he could see that I was having fun, so we had to smash that. Like, that just, not that I'd forgotten that he did that, like I remember that, but just seeing it again, it's so annoying because I look back on those years and I feel like I could have enjoyed them so much more and had so much fun, but I was always being guilted into being miserable. It was almost like he had this attitude, like he had to put so much guilt on me and so much pressure. And if he ever saw me having fun, it was like guilt or make her feel bad about herself or rip on her because she's not making baskets, or like if you're not making those 3-pointers, you need to sit down. And it was just annoying. So there you have it. Anyway, I will be back with another video soon. Let me know what kind of video you want to see in the comments. Bye.